Hey! Is the noon train on time?
Supposed to be.
Feels like it's time.
Fair enough.
BBN Jackfruits. What's up, party people? How's everybody doing? I'm hoping everybody's having a beautiful day. I got some things to talk about today. So I just realized something. I'm consistently talking about how a lot of the information that comes out that we have conflict with, or should I say, the reasons in which why individuals that vote Democrat or their arguments against a lot of things that have to deal with the Republicans, a lot of the information I at least believe to be erroneous. I believe it to be incorrect. I think that these news organizations that they're getting this information from is purposely misleading the public in order to be able to create a certain narrative in order to allow the people or the side of the politicians or the government or however it might be that they might side with to have influence over the public in a greater way, because the actual facts might not allow for them to be able to make those type of things happen. Just so we can be clear. So today, I have arranged a couple of pieces that I would like to discuss with you guys and talk with you guys. And as you can read from the title of this particular video, the main thing that I want to discuss is how now, this is the thing that happened, I have proof, New York State politicians want New York State and a couple of other states to secede from America because Donald Trump won an election. Now, first, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what treason is. Second, get the mic. The mic is all the way over here. I hope I was yelling loud enough. I apologize about that. The mic was done far away from me. Second, first, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what treason is. Second, and I just want to be 100% clear about this. This is worse than what they accused Donald Trump of. Remember January 6th when they're talking about that insurrection? How is this even different in any way, shape, or form? They do not like who won the election, so now they want entire states to secede from the Americas, United States of America. Let's just go right to the clip real quick.
Radical ideas to counter the Trump administration appear to be gaining traction among some Democrats. One New York state senator is even floating the idea of having New York withhold federal taxes and then the Empire State seceding to join Canada. Senior correspondent Eric Shawn is live with more. There's about as much chance of that as a pink unicorn leading the Thanksgiving Day parade tomorrow.
Hello, John. Good morning. Well, it's a defiant plan against President-elect Trump's mass deportation plan. Succeed and join our neighbor to the north. That is exactly what Manhattan Liberal Democrat State Senator Liz Krueger is proposing, that the Empire State and fellow blue northeastern states leave the U.S. and join Canada to protest Trump's plan. She said this back in September before the election, quote, "Instead of us all trying to illegally cross the border at night without them noticing, which is pretty hard because there's lots of us, that they should instead agree to let us be the Southeast province, a new province of Canada. New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont would combine and be a great new province as the Southeast province of Canada. Basically, everybody in these states are progressive Democrats who would fit in pretty well with the political philosophy of at least most of the Canadian elected officials. Well, in a new interview with Politico, State Senator Kruger, who chairs the powerful State Senate Finance Committee, also says that her state and the others should stop sending tax money to the federal government as part of their protest. New York State's comptroller says that the Empire State sends more than $361 billion a year, or provides 6.5% of the whole federal budget. But incoming Trump border czar Tom Homan says nothing will stop them.
So I want to be clear about something. Your elected officials are supposed to work for you. You are not supposed to work for your elected officials. Your elected officials have position. They have authority. They have whatever they have. But in reality, the only reason why they have any of these things is because the people who have elected them have come to an agreement that these people have these authorities, these powers. And so therefore, they're supposed to use their position in the way that best suits the people. They're supposed to take care of the people. They're supposed to use their position and their authority to make the lives of the people easier. Things like that. Why does it feel like the Democratic elected treat the people like the people work for them? They really think this is their fiefdom. I think they have very little regard for the voter, whether they vote for them or against them. Shout out to Brandon Washington. Salute. This is Good Morning Frauds Family, BBN. And I think that is where a big element of where the problem is. You see, these elected officials would like to govern with the laws that Canada currently has. Now, there is going to be no secession, all right? No, nobody seceding from the United States of America. That's not happening, fam. That's insane. But this lends to what I've been trying to explain. These people are making their own constituents mentally unwell. I got a skit I want y'all to see.
Radical ideas to counter the Trump administration.
I want y'all to see. Now, doesn't this feel accurate?
How has the election made you feel on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being Nazi. My name is Dr. Nick Peterson, and I specialize in those suffering from TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. Hello, I'm Dr. Peterson. How are you? Well, Donald Trump is a felon. Nope. I asked how you were doing. The majority of Americans can mentally handle election results on both sides of the aisle. However, there's this small, albeit growing, group of, I don't want to say Americans, but people that are just disconnected from reality. Fascist. And honestly, it makes diagnosing these people a whole lot easier. I just check their social media. Gone are the days when you just search your symptoms on WebMD at home by yourself. Now they record their symptoms and post them for the world to see. The haircut is also a dead giveaway. So, what brings you in today? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the orange democracy-destroying, Putin-loving dictator. All right, so mental illness. They are completely blind to the fact that their absurd actions and ideologies were a big factor in their party's loss. Let me ask you this. Do you even know what democracy is? Follow-up question. Do you know how Kamala Harris became the nominee? I know you're a deplorable Nazi fascist bigot. Okay, neat. Turns out that
I'm gonna tell you why this is even funnier to me, because this is literally how my conversations be going with people. Like when I'm just having like regular conversations with people, like this is how I feel. I'll just be saying like some regular normal shit that ain't nothing. Just some regular normal shit. It's not that big of a deal. And then people come back with me with responses way out of the realm of whatever the hell I'm talking about. It don't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But their response to be so far in the left field that now whatever the hell I was talking about, we're never going to be able to get back to that conversation. That's impossible. Because that shit that you just said is what in the hell? So, yeah. So, I thought that was absolutely hilarious when I saw that. But, yeah, I think that there are individuals that you speak with. You might get that feeling. I mean, just so we can be clear, there are a ton of people who are not pro-Trump or anti-Trump. And they're not weirdos. All right? There are a ton of people who voted against Trump or anti-Trump. But they're not running around with blue hair. They not shaving their hair. They're not talking about, yo, look, I'm stop having intimates with my significant other. They're not doing any of this stuff. They just somewhere like, oh, man, get them next time. They're not like these guys. These guys want the New York State, Vermont, and what was the other states? Massachusetts. They putting together a plan to secede from freaking the United States of America. Besides the fact that that's not happening, they want to be able to do what they want to do with no oversight. Trump said that he's not giving states federal funds except for if they're not doing certain things that they're supposed to be doing, and at least by federal mandate, in order to receive those funds. Instead of just doing the thing, they're trying to circumvent it. So now that's why they probably talking about, look, if you're not going to give us the funds, that means that we could get the funds from somewhere else. Because like I keep trying to explain to y'all, each individual state is its own individual government. We don't. When you talk about what we consider to be countries over in Europe, they call the individual areas states. That's why America is the United States of America. There's other places in America. Canada, Mexico, Brazil. Those are just different parts of America. But with the exception of Canada. But that's America still. So that's what I keep trying to explain. These are the United States of America. So each individual area is its own individual state, is its own individual government. We've been programmed to believe in the macrocosm before the microcosm. We've been programmed to believe in the greater United States of America before believing in the more individual, in the more. And that's like the biggest difference, I think, when we talk about Republicans and Democrats, not for nothing. And not just Republican and Democrats, but I think it has I think it has more to deal with like what kind of region you live in. Like if you live in a rural area, you're more likely to believe that, I don't want the government in my business. Whereas if you live in a more congested area, like a metropolis, like a metropolitan of some kind, you're going to believe that, we need the protection of the state because there's some real weirdos out here. And in both cases, you are correct. You are absolutely correct. And I think that is like the biggest difference, and where a lot of times we lose our connection. For a long time, I also believed more government, better. But the reason why I believed more government better is because all the solutions that the party that I was listening to was giving us were solutions that incorporated themselves into doing things that were going to relieve some of the pressure or problems that we might have. Thank you, Jenny. Some of the pressures of the problems that we might have in society. So since those were the only solutions that were given, since those were the only solutions, if you want to do anything, why don't you give something to the Cash App? Copy? You don't want to do anything. You want to come and cause a problem. Boom, there you go. So, just so we could be clear. That's part of the problem. You understand? That's part of the problem. So when we look at it like this, we got to stop looking at it as America, the United States of America, as just the United States of America. And we start looking at our individual small little governments as our individual small little governments. Then we'll start thinking about it a lot differently. When we start voting for our understanding that our local assemblyman or local councilman is just as important or more important than our senator in many cases when we want certain things done, then we start looking at government differently. We'll stop just electing people. Like, we got some dude that we elected over here as an assemblyman or some shit like that. The dude that place that he took, I saw out here all the time. In the street, all the time. Still see him to this day. The new dude, I haven't seen him once since he got elected. But before he got elected, I saw him pop up a couple of times. But since he's got elected, I haven't seen him once. Not one time. I haven't even seen his people. And I know who his people is. So as I've seen and went to events in Coney Island out here, I've seen not him, but I've seen the person who place he took still showing up, seeing what they could do for the community. We have to stop voting for people who only want our votes. I just thought that was interesting. I still haven't seen the guy. Guy's been elected, I think, for the last 2 years, or whatever the case is. Still haven't seen him. But before he got elected, he was pulling up reasonably so. That part. Got another clip I want to show you. I thought was interesting. So, I'm not constantly, but from here to there, I get into conversations with individuals regarding politics, obviously. And a lot of times they're telling me about something and they saw it on some news program somewhere. And they're feeling confident about the thing in which they're saying. And they believe the thing in which they're saying. And often the thing in which they're saying is just incorrect. So, depending on how friendly I am with the individual is depending on how long I'm going to stand there and talk with them. If, we're not really that friendly, I'm probably not going to talk for but so long, I'm going to consider them a troll. If I'm friendly with them, I'm going to assume that, they're not trolling me and this is really a conversation and it's a real conversation. And in that instance, I'll stand there and I'll talk for a little while. But once I think it's some kind of trying to troll me or whatever, I'm just going to walk off because I don't really care about this that much. So I said all that to say all this. I'm going to show y'all a clip. And this is basically like what I got to deal with. Right? Show you a clip.
He tried to cut Medicare every year he was president.
Lies.
As long as I'm president, no one will lay a hand on your Medicare. Your Medicare is going to be safe and it's going to be solid.
If Donald Trump wins in November, he intends
To kick you out of the White House.
think about that. To take us back to a time when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions.
Includes the first ever executive order to affirm it is the official policy of the United States government to protect patients with pre-existing conditions. So we're making that official. We're putting it down in a stamp.
Big one.
You know, I think that if you want to know who someone cares about, look who they fight for.
So that's how it is dealing with the Democrats. They say things that are just lies. And they just say them over and over and over and over and over again. And they just be lies. I'm going to tell you something that just came to me right now while I was looking at that clip. There's a good chance that Trump and his side might have decided to start accentuating the things that they lied about specifically. So like they'll already know a policy and they'll lie about the policy. And Trump might have spoke on it previously. Because I noticed more than once they would lie about something that I would know that they lied about. They would lie about something. And I'd be like, there's a clip out there with him saying different. And I would have seen it because the clip does exist. And then the next thing you know, the next 2-3 times Trump goes out, he reiterates the point. I think that's what they were doing. Because they're just lying. He never said anything about getting rid of... The first time he ran, he was busy talking about how he had to save Medicaid. He ran on the premise, the first time he ran when he won, he ran on the premise of needing to save Medicaid. So what the hell are they talking about? Go look at his first campaign. He ran on the premise that they had to save Medicaid. And that's one of the reasons why he said he went and had adjusted the Obamacare. I don't know why he touched that. I don't have the slightest idea. Could have been hate. As far as I know, Obamacare was working great. But then now I'm also hearing that Obamacare was turning something, was burning the money out of something, and there had to be some adjustments that was made. Apparently. I'm not ignoring anyone. You're not having a conversation about what we're talking about right here, so I'm just going on with the show. But thank you for trying to distract me. I appreciate you. So I say all that to say this. So much news. I'm not even talking about right now what the candidate said. I'm talking about news. So much news. So much news. It's factually incorrect. If you look at The View, almost everything that they say, factually incorrect. When you go on CNN, factually incorrect. Just factually wrong. And then You go talk to your neighbor. What do you think your neighbor's going to be saying? The same shit that's factually incorrect. Now, who are you going to be mad at? Shout out to the right for not telling you to be mad at your neighbor, because you shouldn't be mad at your neighbor. Your neighbor just received some information from a source that they thought was reliable. Now they want to go out into the world and share that information, and rightfully so. Who wouldn't? You should share information that you think others would benefit from. The only difference is, guess what? The information is not good information. The information is erroneous and factually incorrect. Do y'all understand that there is a fake AI-generated, I don't know, video of the Mexican president and saying that she was doing a whole bunch of shit because of Trump, and it's all fake? It was AI generated. You know, I had somebody come up to me on the streets the other day and use that as an argument against why Trump shouldn't use tariffs. He was busy telling me about the video. I couldn't grasp what video he was talking about. I was like, what video was he talking about? So I was like, I couldn't go back and forth with him on it, because I didn't know what video he was talking about. So I didn't want to say the video didn't exist. So I didn't know what video he was talking about. So, you know, I just stood pat on that particular topic. Nevertheless, I come home 2 days later, I see the video online, AI generated. What? How does that even happen? How does that even happen? So that's what's going on. I got some more clips for y'all real quick. What time we got? 10:30. How long has the show's been going on so far? I think I started late today. I wanted to start a little bit early. I think I started late. Only about a half an hour in.
Well, I wanted to bring to everybody's attention something that doesn't get much attention, and you've heard the term follow the money. So I looked up where did follow the money. I thought it was from a Tom Cruise movie, but it wasn't. It was from Watergate. And follow the money is what they did in Watergate, and we saw what happened. So my young staffer, who's very bright, and I see him over there, Adam Pack, followed the money. And the money is from the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. So in the name of green and environmental justice, there's over $40 billion that are going to be granted out through the EPA. So, with this great research that was done, what was discovered that in December, the EPA granted $50 million to an organization called Climate Justice Alliance. So we went to the website of Climate Justice Alliance. This is what we found on the website, that our taxpayer dollars are going to organizations such as this. This, at the bottom, is a picture of the bulldozer that went through the fence when Hamas attacked Israel on October the 7th. They have a rendering on their website. It says decolonize Palestine, and it has a picture of that same bulldozer going through that fence. If you dig deeper, they want to defund the police, defund the military, either them or their affiliates.
Also, just so you could get a real quick understanding of why I'm playing this video, one of the things that Trump want to do is get rid of a couple of these agencies because they're saying that these agencies is blowing through taxpayers' money and using it for nothing. And now we're busy finding out that not only does they have money that they have unaccounted for, monies that there's counted that can't be accounted for, but also they're sending money to terrorist organizations, and these organizations are disguised as climate change organizations. Now, who are the people that's behind all of this climate change BS? And why, if climate change is such a real thing, do these same people that complain about climate change buy all of the land that's on the freaking ocean? They buy all the oceanfront property. Why they buying all this beachfront property? Ain't they scared of freaking climate change? Ain't they scared of flooding? Ain't they scared of the coastline moving in? Then why all of them got beaches? Why they all got homes in freaking Hawaii? Explain this to me. Listen to this.
Want to have very radical, drastic initiatives that I think are anti-American, and they're certainly anti-Israel and anti-Semitic. So the Biden administration doesn't seem to care. $50 million in December. Who knows how much more in the future, and other like groups, because there are other associated groups with this group. There's no inspector general for EPA to follow the money because they don't care. Because all they care about is the mission, the climate mission, no matter what the radical ideas that are associated with the groups. So then you could ask yourself, is this group really going to be funding climate, cleaning up the water and cleaning up the soil and cleaning up the air? Or are they going to be funding things like the protests they had in Hart just several weeks ago, where several of them were arrested? So follow the money. We're going to be doing that in the Environment and Public Works Committee. That's where the derivation of this was. And I find it rather startling to me that the EPA is not doing, and the administration are not doing any better research as to where our American taxpayer dollars are going.
So I just want to be clear. When individuals pull up on me and y'all telling me whatever y'all telling me about politics, I'm fine. I'm more than happy to sit there and listen, and I'm more than happy to engage, right? But I just need for you to be able to tell me things that's, one, real, and two, aren't lies, because a lie could be real. Like, it's really a lie. Like, so I need for you to know, I need for you to have looked a little bit further into the information, not just at what the people that you like are saying. See, when we're doing research, sometimes we gotta look at more than the people that we like. We gotta still go to places that have good information. Don't get this confused. But we have to look at varying voices. Voices, not just various voices, but varying voices. Voices that don't necessarily always have the same angle. You know what I'm saying? Because people will go and be like, yo, yeah, I went to 6 doctors. Yeah, but all those 6 doctors always say the same, always vote the same way. They always talk about, they always agree. Why don't you go to a couple of doctors that don't always agree? Or that at least have different positions or perspectives. Shout out to Brandon Washington with the $15 drop. Specifically, he said, is the saloon open? So Brandon Washington would like for us to be in the saloon today. We could do some saloon. Why not? I should have a graphic. I was working on a graphic to get up there for the saloon. Not for nothing. I have a saloon graphic. Not for nothing. Hold on. I'm going to show y'all real quick. So I do have a saloon graphic. I'm video over here like, will my mic still work? I get my mic will still work. Hold on. I do got a saloon graphic. So I definitely got a saloon graphic. In any regard, is that weirdo? Anyway, Brandon Washington pulls up to the saloon. It's a bright day outside. It's all of the sun. But there's also about 6 feet of snow outside. As he walks in, it looks like he has on a tank of armor. He has a whole suit of armor on. He looks like a tank. He comes into the door. He has to walk sideways because all of the muskers. He goes in through past the bouncer. He's one of the few people that looks down at the bouncer like this. And the bouncer looks up. As he walks past the bouncer, he goes up to the bartender. He says, Mr. Bartender, I got these $15 right here. I want to see a lady. Matter of fact, I want to see 2 of them. I also would like me some of that sarsaparillas over there. We need all of the sarsaparillas. I'm going to need a bottle of whiskey, and I'm going to need your finest oatmeal. Bartender looks at him and said, Mr. Brandon Washington, you are one of our best clienteles. We love to have you in the building. As Brandon Washington looks over his shoulder, he can see outside of the window. There's a whole lot of Democrats out there. He could tell they're Democrats because all of the women, they're either bald or their hair is blue. He looks out the window. He says, oh man, it's them Democrats is over there is giving y'all some big problems. The bartender says, yes, them Democrats is over there. There's always giving us them there's problems. Brandon Washington walks up to the windows. He opens it up. It's a big picture windows. He opens up the big picture windows. He can see the Democrats on the other side of the street. They're protesting. No Roger, no rerun, no rent. Ha ha, no Roger, no rerun, no rent. They protesting. Brandon Washington, he picks up a bucket. The bucket has donkey bags in it. What donkey bags are is, there's a whole bunch of bags. They fill them with donkey. That's it. He picks up a bucket. Normal human beings would hold the bucket like this in their arms as they reached into it to grab the donkey bags, but he kinda holds it in his hand. He grips the bucket. He takes out the donkey bags. He starts throwing them across the street, but to him, it looks like he's flipping boogers. He's hitting all of the people across the street with the donkey bags. They coming and hitting people in the face at 90 miles an hour. There's donkey everywhere. There's bags everywhere. Brandon Washington then turns around, looks at the bartender and says, are the ladies ready? Shout out to Brandon Washington pulling up to the saloon this morning, seeing all of the ladies throwing all of the donkey bags. Gotta throw donkey bags at these guys sometime. They don't know what's going on. That should be crazy though. Like real talk though. It'd be crazy when you talking to somebody and you got respect for them. They're good people. We're not gonna play with it. See, when you're talking to an idiot, then, you know, they saying some stupid shit. You're like, ha. But when you're talking to somebody that's intelligent, cool people, and you talking to them, and you get it, right? And then I think about, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And when I say lately, I mean like the last couple of years. I think about how in the 90s, I believed a lot of things that the Democrats were saying. That now are factually incorrect. This is one of the reasons why I'm very fair on conversations of politics. No, there was a lot that I thought was true back in the 90s, the early 2000s. And it wasn't. So now I have to look at, my fellow American now who might favor some information that might also not necessarily be correct. And, I myself, as who I am, need to be a little bit more understanding and open-minded. Because I know when I was led astray, I know when I was convinced of a thing, and it was the furthest thing from the truth. And I think that we need to deal with our people like that. And don't be so mad at them because they believe in these individuals that's talking about, don't talk to them for the holidays. That's insane. Don't be too mad at them. Don't be too angry. Every time they come to you and they reiterate one of these things that is factually incorrect, be patient. When you're not fighting with them. All right? Somebody else is fighting with you. They're just using them to fight you. So try to be patient. It's difficult, believe me. If anybody knows about how being attacked from a third party through other people, I do. And the patience you need to have is sometimes, I don't even know what to say. Honestly, I don't know what to say. I got a couple more clips I wanted to show y'all, but I think we are going to actually do a show tonight.
Nobody wins. Let's get into it. America's best public high school tanks after implementing DEI admissions. Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology in Virginia had the top ranking spot by U.S. News and World Report for years until this past year when it plummeted to ranking number 14. Worried parents involved with the school say that this is all because of equity-focused admissions policies. The school reportedly scrapped all the standardized tests that they used to require because they wanted to increase the number of Black and Latino students. Isn't that racist? So bad, even the principal stepped down. So now, I imagine, you have all of these parents and families left to deal with lowered standards that don't challenge the kids who maybe got in on merit, and now you have a whole bunch of students going to this school who can't rise to the occasion to challenge the kids who actually are capable of rising to the occasion. Do you see what equity gets us? If you want to do away with this nonsense like we do, sign our Stop Woke Education petition now. Link in bio. Prager you kids.
People really got to wake up. Like at one point or another, people got to wake up, man. People got to wake up. Watch all of the information that's going to be coming out sooner rather than later. I promise you. Sooner rather than later. In regards to all of the monies that's being spent places that the money's not supposed to be spent. Just going to be watch. Just watch. Why you think they so pissed off at Vivek Ramaswamy and freaking Elon Musk? Because they had in that new DOGE thing, that new Doge thing. Brandon Washington says, what's your thoughts on them trying to send stuff to Ukraine, Putin saying not to? No, they're trying to start World War III. Well, World War III is already going on. They're trying to escalate it. So they're actively trying to escalate World War III. They're trying to escalate World War III. And these are the individuals that our people in America are mad did not win the election. The people who are trying to escalate it. This is what I mean by I don't get you. I mean, one of the main things the Democrats always try to do is be the hierarchy of authority as far as they own the morality of the conversation. Like in every conversation, they always have the moral high ground. They can't. Not with these positions. So, they've always had the moral high ground. That's been their position. But if you look at their policies that they have now, it's impossible for them to now then still claim to have the moral high ground. But that's the hill that they're dying on still. Because the people who believed in the Democrats still believe that they should have that authority. Even though the things in which the Democratic Party is currently displaying should not. That's not the energy the Democratic elected officials are currently displaying. They treat us like we work for them and not the other way around. What's your thoughts on the Dems trying to send stuff to Ukraine and Putin say not to, but would that prevent Trump from entering office? Look, they're trying to do every single thing in the world that they can to either unalive Trump or create a situation where power can't be transferred. Because when Trump gets into office, I'm assuming they know that the jig is up. And what's going to be worse is when the people who are supporters of them figure out what they've actually been supporting. Now, I'm giving it about 6 months for it to really trigger and click in the majority of the individuals' heads that's been deceived. I'm giving it between 6 to 9 months. But it could be all the way up to at least a year after Trump gets into office. But there's going to be a point where the people who actually are good in the heart, or at least attempt to and wish to be, are not going to still be able to pretend like the Democrats still own the moral high ground. They're just not going to be able to pretend. Right now, it's obvious that they don't, but they're still pretending. This woman bragged about raising $1.6 billion, the most ever in the presidential run. But she still has to open up a GoFundMe because they can't pay the people in her campaign because they're still 20 million behind. And y'all wanted her to run the national, y'all wanted her to be in charge of the economy. But when you say this to them, they're going to say, yeah, but Trump. No, but we're not talking about that, but I get it. So this is why I just don't talk to them. If they want to talk to me about something, I'll listen to what they got to say. But I would never bring a conversation to them because I know the minute I say something that is me winning in the conversation, they're going to change the conversation. So it's meaningless for me to bring the conversation to them. But, depending, I'll talk to them for a little bit about it, depending on who they are and what I think about them. Yeah, there's a boatload going out right now to bring the next administration in the negative. They're trying to do everything they can to destroy America. What up, Washable Marker? Do you think J.D. Vance could possibly win New York? I think if Trump gets into office and he's able to do half of what he's talking about doing, I think J.D. Vance is going to win by probably as big of a landslide as Trump has won this time, if not a little bit. I say he's going to beat. It's going to be a walk in the park. It probably won't be this big because people just don't like Kamala Harris. But it's going to be big. I say big win for 2028. Because people are going to want to keep more of the same. People are still going to be able to remember this presidential election. They're going to be able to remember the bullshit that we're going through right now. They're still going to be able to remember. I don't think the Democrats currently has a potential presidential nominee that's far enough away from the bullshit. Somebody would need to just come out of nowhere and just dazzle the world. But who do you even see being a Democratic candidate? Because remember, to win the presidency, you have to be, for the most part, both parties have to vote for you, not just your party. So it has to be somebody that both parties could to a degree stomach. Name a Democratic person right now that, because of how they had to get behind Kamala Harris, because of how they had to get behind Joe Biden, name me a Democratic candidate right now that a Republican would trust. Now you're saying, do I think he's going to win New York? I don't know. I don't know if you're going to win a Democratic state until they change some of the election laws to make it so people can't cheat. Is that fair? I like Cory Booker. And I like him because the Democrats threw him away. Why did the Democrats throw him away? He probably didn't get with a lot of the bullshit the Democrats was doing at that time. The Democrats threw him away. I like Cory Booker. So did the Democrats throw him away, or was he really that bad and I don't know? I don't know. I think the Democrats threw him away. I can't wait for AOC to get up out of here. She needs to be dubbed. But who do they got? Cory Booker isn't doing enough for the Republicans to think about voting for him. You have to be able to pull people from both sides of the aisle. You have to be able to pull Democratic voters and Republican voters in order to win the presidency. I can't think of a person who could win the Democratic nomination who could do that. Because too many of them was so hard and going so hard for Kamala Harris. Too many of them was so far behind Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And the public did not trust Kamala Harris and does not trust Joe Biden. Those are facts. So just like they won this year, 4 years from now, I expect the Republicans to win again. And it's going to be J.D. Vance because he's going to run, right? People are still going to be able to remember this 4 years that we just lived through. These three and change months. 3 years and 11 months. People still going to be able to remember it. That's one of the main reasons why Kamala lost now. Because there's people who can still remember when Trump was president. And it was not like it is now. See, the difference about when you was getting money and Trump was president. Trump was giving you money to go do shit. Trump wasn't giving you money to do nothing. Trump was giving you money to go do shit. You want to open up a business? Here. You want to do this thing? Here. You want to create that thing? Here. Now, do I think that we should just get a universal, every American citizen should get a check from the government just in general, like a lot of these other countries do, every month? Yeah. Absolutely. They're going to spend that same money in the economy, which is going to further then boost the economy. That's a win-win for everybody, if you know anything about how shit works. Brandon Washington said we need some new age thinking for this new era and we are entering in history. The people in positions of power now really don't understand the world as a whole nowadays, in my opinion. No, absolutely. When you have Whoopi Goldberg go on television and say the reason why she still have a job is because the economy is so bad she can't quit. Bitch! Whoopi Goldberg worth like 60 million dollars, fam. So they're saying shit to y'all, just assuming y'all stupid. Because that ain't for me. That ain't my demographic. I promise you, they don't think there's many black men watching that damn show. Black straight men. I promise you this. That's not the demographic they're shooting for. Yo, man, we got to get all of them black straight men to watch The View. How we going to do it? That is not the demographic they looking for, fam. I promise you. They just lying to y'all. Over and over and over and over again. And then they getting y'all to go lie to each other. That's it. That's all that's happening. Any other questions? We will be coming back later. I think we're gonna be doing just some random gaming today. I got some other stuff that I gotta put up on the page today, and look for just a lot of uploads in general. We're about to start getting our uploads together. The Sharks, we actually finished the season in second place. We actually with both two of our 3 teams went to the championship game, finished in second place, doing absolutely incredible. You got to be proud of those kids. They go out there, they work hard, and shout out to Coach Knight. Shout out to everybody in the organization, Ms. Priscilla, Mrs. Sue, everybody that's doing things over there. Shout out to Coach Reggie. It's just an incredible organization. They're doing a lot in the community, and at the end of the day, you know, we need the people who know how to inspire the children and the kids, because how else is kids gonna dream unless they have something to dream for, right? So let's be out here, encourage these kids to dream, point them in the direction, and give them something to dream for, because that's gonna make them be that adult that's gonna go out there and get it, rather than the adult that's going out there and wait for it to come to them. With that being said, yo, look, I love y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. Need to get me some coffee, a couple of other things. Coffee. I just need to get coffee. With that being said, I love y'all. We will be going live. I think I'm going to game for a couple of hours today, give y'all some video games to watch. And we will have a Tonight Show, because I need to get... I'm supposed to hopefully be having a second monitor coming. I'm still trying to get the second monitor. I'm trying to have a second monitor coming. When the second monitor comes, then the Tonight Show will be able to be what I'm envisioning it to be, which is going to be incredible. With that being said, I love y'all. Everybody have a blessed day. Go out there in the world. Go do something worth doing. Stamp God's name on it. Do something great, good in the world, a benefit to others. And then let people know that you came in the name of God. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one.